An ambitious expedition, as we know, gone horribly wrong. And now the world is seeking answers on what really happened here. Multiple agencies, US Coast Guard, the TSB, and now the RCMP are also looking into this implosion. Dan, what do you think they are really going to be looking into when they start this investigation?
Well, I think that everybody wants to make sure that we cross all the T's and dot all the I's and get all the information in place and everybody agrees on exactly what the facts are, because that's going to be the starting place for any kinds of recommendations for the future. I mean, there is the question of blame. There is the question of criminal negligence or other charges that may be laid or may not be laid. And those are important questions. But ultimately, the legacy of this mission and the tragedy that happened is going to be what regulations come into play afterwards. And the analogy to the Titanic, I mean, it's called the Titan,
Yeah.
and it's an analogy to the Titanic. And they're sitting on the ocean floor less than a kilometer apart, and it happened in the same place. And so it's so easy to draw parallels. And the Titanic was a horrible, horrible disaster that, it's an easy word to say now, Titanic, but you have to remember that at the time it happened, 1,503 people died a terrible death, or different terrible deaths in this maritime disaster, the likes of which no one had ever seen. And the legacy of that is that the rules have changed to make it safer for everyone. So they've changed the way that ships are built, and they've changed, just the rules about how many lifeboats you have to have on board a ship. Now you have to have enough you have to have enough lifeboat seats for all the people on board. That wasn't a rule before Titanic. And so there's some basic rules that could be made in response to this submersible tragedy. And if you want to make rules that address the dangers, you have to understand what went wrong. You have to understand exactly where human error comes into play, and make sure that you prevent those things from happening in the future.
I'm just wondering, Dan, of course, some very important points and questions you raise about how we need to be extremely aware of what went wrong to be able to have more safety measures in place for the future. But for example, this vessel, Polar Prince, that was closely involved in the operations. Many people were on board that as well when Titan launched. And of course, they are being questioned too on what really happened. We'll be seeing how the TSB is going to be looking into voice recorders. They'll be going through various data. But how complex, Dan, do you think this entire process is really going to be? Because there are so many questions about Titan itself and how it wasn't really a classified vessel.
Yeah, so ultimately, if a bunch of people are getting into a vessel that's not classified and deciding to go down, there are human decisions being made there. And so you can say it's an engineering problem, that the engineering wasn't up to the challenge. But even with that in place, there's always a scope of danger. There's always a percent chance of failure, and you have to understand what those risks are and plan around them. And so the question is whether the planning was appropriate. With the Titanic, they were going too fast and they couldn't see the icebergs. And that is very clearly why that ship sank. And if the ship had gone more carefully and taken a different route, or had been navigating much more slowly around icebergs, they would not have sank. And so you had human error. Yes, you could say the Titanic wasn't built to smash into an iceberg,
Iceberg, yeah.
but you can't blame the engineers completely for that. It's also the fault of the people using the equipment. So when you look at what happened with Titan, you've got to ask, what were all the steps that were taken to prevent disaster before they got into that submersible? All the planning that went into it, all the analyses to make sure that this thing still had structural integrity after having gone on those deep dives before. It's a well-known fact that a lot of materials change their material properties when they get stressed like that multiple times. It's called fatigue. Were they checking for fatigue? How did they check for fatigue? How often did they check for fatigue? How about the design itself? How was that tested? So those are the kinds of questions that are going to go into it. But on the day when they stopped getting a signal, an hour and 45 minutes into that mission, did they follow a protocol that gave the best possible chance of recovery? And then we know now that it was a sudden implosion, and it's unlikely that any kind of delay in calling for help by that ship after their signal went dead, it's unlikely that that delay would have caused any difference. But in other scenarios, maybe that delay was too long. And so we've got to look at exactly how they responded when things all of a sudden weren't going according to plan, and know whether maybe some changes need to be made there.
Indeed. So many questions to this awful tragedy. CTV science and technology expert Dan Riskin, always great to have you on the show. Dan, thank you.
Thank you so much.